Hi guys, hi, good evening. I hope that everyone has had a really good day so far. I'm sorry I haven't been active for the past 3 to 4 days. I've had a bit of work that I need to finish up, so I'm back again. Make sure to post at least a video a day and start back on the 140 days of stock analysis series. So today I've had a lot of requests. A lot of people requested to do banks and amongst other stuff. So however, I have mentioned these two counters before, JAT Holdings and RIL, which was posted last month. So I just wanted to get back to it and show you how it's doing and what we can expect over the coming few days to coming few weeks. So right, so those are the two things that we are looking at. Also, big favor, I am roughly around 1,000 hours away from getting monetized. So please make sure to watch the entire video. Make sure to leave a like and also post your thoughts on the comment section about what else I should be doing in my future videos. So thanks a lot for watching the video. Let's get started. So I'll start off with this Twitter post that I posted back in November of 2021. So overall, this is what I posted. I posted that we have a symmetrical triangle, and most importantly, I have said that usually every IPO fails at the start. So usually IPOs take at least 6 to 9 months to form a good base before it starts moving high. Now, not every IPO would do that. It's usually always the good IPOs that usually form a base and then start moving into new all-time highs. So JAT, we are seeing something very similar, and most importantly, I've said that usually whenever we see a breakdown below a symmetrical triangle or an ascending triangle, usually prices, so most of the time, even though it's a bearish breakdown, usually stops and finds support around the lowest point of the pattern or the start of the pattern. So as you can see, this is where prices stopped at roughly around 20 rupees. So now if we look at the most recent chart, which is roughly around a month and a half later, we can draw pretty much a similar sort of trend line that we have drawn before, and we can draw this one as well. So we can see that this is the symmetrical triangle that I was talking about, and most importantly, we know that prices, like I said, eventually breaks down but usually finds support around the lowest point of the pattern. So roughly around this level, but eventually prices did find support a bit higher, but nothing too far away, just roughly around 35 cents away from the support level over here. So that shows that there has been a good amount of buyers coming in here willing to buy the stock at these levels. Now you can clearly see that once prices establish support at this level, we have not broken below that level ever again. So as of now, for anyone who bought around these levels, including this jump over here, this should have been an ideal risk level where they would have never been stopped out had they had their stop loss below this support level. So most importantly, also I have said that usually prices do consolidate until the point where these two lines intersect. So you can see we call this the apex of a certain pattern, and here the apex or the intersection point, this is where at this point is where we can expect prices to consolidate before it starts moving higher. So as of now, you can see that prices did not actually break this downward sloping trend line until we moved past this intersection point. So after that, we can see that we actually had a strong breakout on this day over here, which was roughly the 4th of January, and we also saw very heavy volume coming in, pretty much the highest buying volume that we have seen since JAT IPO'd. So in that sense, it was a pretty good indication that most likely JAT is ready to start moving higher. And as of now, we can see that we saw this very strong move here as well, and then eventually prices did pull back, but then eventually pulled back and found support around this trend line. So again, that was an ideal level for you to have your stop below this level right here and expect prices to move higher. So as of now, our main resistance level is over here, which is roughly around 2650. So let's write it down. Right, so our main resistance level is roughly around 2650. So we can see that today heavy volume did come in, but we still do not have a valid breakout since we are yet to see a close above 2650. So ideally what I would like to see tomorrow is again some heavy volume, but at the same time a breakout above today's high, which is at 2650, and most likely we might see my initial target, which is roughly around 29, which I posted on this post over here. We can see a retest of the IPO highs, which will most likely be reached if we see a breakout above yesterday's high on high volume. So as of now, JAT looks very strong towards the upside. So let's quickly look at the moving averages that we always do. So as of now, we don't have the 200-day moving average because we do not have 200 days of data, but we do have the 20 and the 50. And as of now, you can clearly see that prices, the moving averages are well aligned. The 20 is above the 50 and both have a positive slope. So it shows that there is further upside that we can expect, and the overall trend is favoring the buyers. So as of now, we have established one target, which is at 29 rupees. Now we know that that is a target of this symmetrical triangle, but most importantly, we can see another sort of pattern forming over here. So if we just quickly get rid of everything that we have done and we shift down to the weekly chart, which will filter out most of the price action, we can see a possibility of seeing a rounded base form over here. So for those of you who don't know what a rounded base is, it's pretty much simply a rounded base. So what you see is pretty much a drawdown, and then you see prices round over and move higher. So we can measure price target like that as well. We can take the height of the pattern, which is roughly 29 rupees minus the lowest point. We can take it as 20 rupees. So that's 9 rupees of a height. The height of the pattern is 9 rupees. And if we add it to the breakout point at 29, we get a price target of roughly 38 rupees. So that roughly, if you are to even enter at 29, you're looking at roughly a 30% upside potential on sorry, not 30%, roughly around 25% of upside potential on JAT holdings if we are to see a rounded base and a breakout above the prior all-time highs. So we have established two price targets as of now. The most recent and the most immediate price target is a retest of the all-time highs or the IPO highs. And if we are to see a valid breakout above the IPO highs, we can expect further extension towards this 38 level, which is taken by measuring the height of the pattern and adding it to the breakout level, which is at roughly 29 rupees. So in terms of a stop level, as of now, one, if we do have a confirmed breakout, we can have a stop level below this 2650 level. So if prices are to close back below 2650, that's most likely a signal that we have a possible fake out, and for the buyers to possibly stop yourself out until we see further confirmation. So that is one possible stop level. If you are waiting for a breakout above the IPO highs at 29 rupees, again the same scenario. If we see a valid breakout above 29 rupees, then you can have a stop loss where if price is close below 29 rupees again, that means we have possible fake out, and for you to stop yourself out. So one thing that I always tell my followers is not to have hard stops. When I say hard stop, that means you manually entering the stop loss and letting your broker execute your stop losses. Now one thing, if you don't know, is that these stop losses can be seen by the brokers. Usually the brokers see your stop losses. So there are some times where the brokers might bring down the prices just to trigger your stop. So the best thing is to have a mental stop, which is what I always do. Simply a mental stop means you know where your stop loss is, but you do not have hard stops. You simply stop yourself out. You simply do a market order or something. You go online, do a market order and stop yourself out if prices come down towards your stop loss level. So that is a better way of trading, and obviously it requires a lot of discipline. If you don't have discipline, or if you're afraid to stop yourself out, then the best thing is obviously to have a hard stop and then not look at it in case if prices are to come down to your risk level, then obviously you would be executed without you knowing. So that is a better way. If you don't have much discipline, if you're afraid to stop yourself out, if you're afraid of seeing a loss in your account, the best thing is obviously to have a hard stop. So that being said, we have looked at everything we need to look at for JAT. So pretty much initial target is a retest of the IPO highs, and then finally if we do have a base breakout above the IPO highs, then most likely we are looking at a further extension towards the high 30s if we do get volume and we see a valid breakout above 29 rupees. So that's about it on JAT holding. So let's quickly jump into RIL as well. Right. So RIL, I've already drawn this, so let me take it out. So pretty much RIL, we are looking again. We'll zoom out of the chart, look at the overall picture of the stock. So overall, we can see that we are at a clear uptrend. So we can see a series of higher highs, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. So as of now, we can see that after this very strong move all the way from 8 rupees towards this 16 17 rupees, we are seeing a period of consolidation. So usually that is a good sign. So what we need to pretty much figure out as of now is where can RIL go over the next few weeks or over the short term. So let's quickly jump into the moving averages before we do anything else. So as of now, we can see that the moving averages are clearly aligned as well. You can see that the 20 is above the 50 and the 50 is above the 200, and all three of them are having a positive slope, which means that the short term, the medium term, and the long term trend is favoring the buyers as of now. So now that we have the moving averages side as well, let's quickly look at the chart pattern. So if pretty sure a lot of people would have identified this, but let's quickly note it down. So we have a possible pennant forming over here. Now usually a lot of people confuse between pennants and symmetrical triangles. Regardless, the point you need to know is obviously that the pattern is bullish. There is no reason to argue whether it's a pennant or a symmetrical. This is actually a pennant, because a pennant is anything less than 4 weeks. So as of now, I think this is, oh no, sorry, this is symmetrical triangle. So anything less than a month is called a pennant. Anything more than a month is called symmetrical triangle. So as of now, we have a symmetrical triangle forming. So overall, there are several ways that we can measure a price target. In terms of, let's quickly look at a risk level before we look at a price target. So overall, what you can do is there are several risk levels that you can have. One is if prices close below this trend line over here. Let me highlight it. So if we do see a close below this trend line, then obviously stop yourself out. Possibly that is a signal that most likely we might see a further pullback on RIL. If not, another stop level is for you to have below this low over here, which is at 1380. So this low over here is also possible stop level. So pretty much this trend line and this low over here corresponds to pretty much very similar levels. So roughly around 1380 to 14 rupees is possibly where your most conservative risk level would be. If you want to have a more flexible risk level, then obviously adjust it accordingly to your risk appetite and according to where you would want to have your stop level. So this is where my stop level would be as a conservative trader. But if you obviously are a more risk taker, pretty much, then have a flexible approach towards approaching this rather than having a very tight stop. So now that we have looked at the pattern, we know how to measure price target. We pretty much take the height of the pattern. So the height here is 1670, and you minus it from this low over here, which is 13. So you get 3.7 points as a height. And then assuming that we get a breakout roughly at around 15 rupees, then you're looking at roughly around 1870 as your first price target. So that is provided that we see a valid breakout to confirm the pattern. So remember that the pattern is not confirmed until we see a valid breakout. So we need to see a breakout above this downward sloping trend line. Let me highlight it in red. So until we see a breakout above this downward sloping trend line, we do not have a valid breakout as of yet. In terms of volume, we are seeing the natural form of volume that we see in a usual consolidation phase. Volume has been constantly falling as prices form this pattern. So this is nothing unusual. This is very natural. Most of the patterns have this sort of volume pattern. So that is perfectly fine. As of now, we are just waiting to see a confirmed breakout in RIL. So this is price target 1, which is roughly at around 1870 rupees. So another way we can measure target is we take the height of this move over here. We can assume that this is a sort of a continuation pattern over here. So we can take the height of this move, which is this one over here. So that is 1640, and the lowest point over here, let's take it as 840 to make it simple. So that's roughly an 8-point height from this high over here, all the way to the lowest point of this candle over here. So you get 8 points. So provided that we do see a breakout above this level, so assuming that we see a breakout above 15, another way we can assume is that we can possibly see a RIL breakout and move towards the 23 as well. 23-ish level as well. So pretty much how I took it is, you take the height of this move from here all the way towards the lowest point over here, you get 8 points as a height, and you add it to an approximate level. So I'm assuming that a breakout will happen roughly around 15 rupees. Assuming that it's at 15, then you add it and you get a target of 23 rupees as well. So those are pretty much the two targets that I have. And obviously risk level wise, I've given you a risk level which is between 13.80 to 14 rupees. Now looking at current prices, that's a very tight risk level. That's because I'm more conservative. But if you obviously want to give more flexibility, like I said, you can have your stop level below another recent support level. So a good support level would be the pattern low that we spoke about in JAT holdings. That will come roughly around here. So that's around 13 rupees. So that can be a bit more of a flexible risk level for you if you want to have it there. So that's assuming that we see a breakdown below this upward sloping trend line, and then we see something like JAT where prices consolidate. Let me draw it. Prices consolidate and then break towards the upside from here. So that's my thoughts on RIL as well. So if you guys have any questions about the two counters that we spoke about, RIL and JAT, obviously make sure to post your thoughts in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So I've given you possible price targets, I've given you my risk levels. Obviously I can't guarantee you that either of these things would happen. Possibly it might completely fail, or it might go towards 1870 and never go to 23 as well. So that being said, obviously make your own thesis. This is not investment advice, this is just my personal opinion on how I expect price action to happen. But that being said, I can't guarantee anything. So obviously form your own thesis before you look at other people's opinions, and then you can build up a bigger analysis using public information as well, and then come up on whether you want to buy the stock or whether you want to stay out of it. So that's completely up to you, not investment advice. So make sure that you form your own thesis before you jump into a stock. So thank you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll make sure to post further videos over the coming few days as well. So have yourself a really good day and hope to see you guys soon over the next video as well. Thank you guys, thanks for watching.